Street photography is my creative outlet. The streets are my training ground. I started back in 2016 as a complete beginner, self-taught, figuring it out as I went. 10 years later, it's become a way of life. The years weren't perfect, they were real. Mistakes, hesitation, burnout, and slow discoveries that taught me what actually matters on the streets. Here are the lessons that change everything. I quickly want to introduce myself. My name is Sambreen, and this is 28mm Street. I'm a self-taught street photographer with more than a decade on the streets. Here I share my street photography journey, the gear I use, the lessons the streets have taught me, and the mindset that keeps me exploring the unexpected. Check out my website to sign up for my newsletter or read my free street photography blog. And don't forget to check your spam folder after signing up. I also have street photography courses and other resources for you to explore. Now let's get back to the video. I'll be the first to admit that I'm an overthinker and I often suffer from what we call analysis paralysis, and I wish I could just mute my brain for 1 second. So looking back almost a decade ago, I clearly remember that I hesitated a lot when I wanted to start with street photography. And I know it sounds painfully obvious, but my best advice is if you want to get started with street photography, just start. Just head out with your camera, any kind of camera in hand, because that is the hardest part, to step out on the streets. And yes, there will be a very steep learning curve. You have to overcome early hesitation and struggles and challenges and all that. But that's part of the process when you're starting something new. And this is not only pertaining to street photography. It's any discipline, any new thing, any new hobby you want to undertake. Something new that you have to learn comes with a set of challenges, a steep learning curve. I've been doing street photography for 10 years, and I would say this has been the biggest lesson, to just start and not focus so much on different gear, how to do it, the proper theory. Sometimes it's just easier to go out and just get started, because sometimes when you get started, you develop a habit of, continuing that, and maybe it will spark your curiosity. I can't tell you how many shots I missed over the years, and looking back to 2016, 2017, and 18, I missed so many shots. They were often blurry photos, out of focus photos, overexposed, underexposed, and all the things you can expect to happen when you're a new street photographer. And the reason why I missed all those shots were because, first of all, I was not fast enough to make a photograph back then if something with fast movement happened. But the second and more important factor was that I didn't have the technical understanding of making a photograph. So what I mean here is the basic camera theory, or the exposure triangle, so you expose a photograph correctly according to shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. And I would say it's perfectly fine to miss shots in the beginning, because we're adapting, we're developing our skills and so forth. And to be honest, I'm really grateful of all the shots that I missed and all the opportunities I didn't get to shoot. It made me work harder, and along the way, I just took them as teaching moments. So every time I miss a shot, it was an opportunity for me to go back. Why did that happen? The lesson here is that every missed shot is a lesson in itself, so it's an opportunity to learn from. And every blurry, out of focus shot taught me to keep going, refine my skills, and kept me moving forward. So that's a big lesson in itself. It took me a long time to learn about the exposure triangle, so basic camera theory. And looking back now, I would say it was because I subconsciously maybe tried to cut corners. I just wanted to get to the results before even putting in the hours. I don't know, for some reason I thought learning about the exposure triangle is very, very difficult for me to understand. I don't know why. It's not that difficult. It was just a lot of information I was processing, so maybe it was too overwhelming for me. And I found a way to make photographs that worked for me for a long time until it didn't. So back then I often used aperture priority, and that worked perfectly fine for me for a long, long time. And I think at some point I just started to get more of those blurry, out of focus, underexposed, overexposed photos. Again, looking back, that was completely the wrong mindset, because I wanted the camera to do all the work for me without really understanding the fundamentals. So after a while, I thought it was time for me to learn about the exposure triangle. And since then, I've only shot in manual mode. And just a side note here, learning about camera basics or exposure triangle does not mean that you have to shoot manual. So it's just a way to understand the basics and how you make a well-balanced photograph. So with that said, I would say the biggest lesson I learned was that don't skip the basics. Try to understand how your camera works, because it will transform you and your skills and your photography in the long run. It's just about learning about the fundamentals of the camera that you are using as your primary tool. I've had many different cameras over the years, but there are two camera decisions that completely and fundamentally changed the trajectory of my street photography journey. So the first camera decision was that I bought a Canon 800D that I've talked about a lot on this channel, and that really kickstarted my learning street photography in a proper way. So I would go out and only use that camera exclusively for 3 years with a 35mm equivalent. Plastic, fantastic camera, but it had everything I needed. It wasn't too advanced, it wasn't too simple. It had the right amount of features. I really liked the camera, had this bulky grip, and it resembled a lot those bigger DSLR cameras, and for me that was perfect. For the Canon 800D, I actually had a much more advanced camera, and I also talked about that camera a little bit because that was a good lesson for me. Because I bought that camera without even understanding my needs. I was a complete newbie, and I bought a really advanced, and I later found out I bought a Micro Four Thirds camera. I didn't even know what I was buying. It was too advanced for me. It has so many features and buttons, and it was much more expensive than I originally planned for. The second mistake I made, just to complete that story, was that I bought into the entire ecosystem of that Olympus camera, and that cost me a lot of money. But by then I had invested so heavily, in lenses and accessories, so the entire ecosystem. So getting rid of that camera really taught me a big lesson, but we'll come back to that story later. But that led me to buy the Canon 800D. That was obviously a tear down. The lesson here is that I only upgraded from my Canon 800D once I felt like I outgrew that camera. And then I jumped to having a full frame camera. That was the Sony A7C Mark I back then. And I've had that since then. All right, so camera decision number 2 was hands down my Fuji X100V, to now really understanding what my style is, what kind of photographs I can make, what type of photographs that I want to make in the future. I love that camera. I don't have it any longer. I sold it. I also have a video on it if you want to watch it. That camera completely disrupted my street photography journey because I went from a nice steady stream of pin-sharp photographs, nice street photography, high contrast silhouettes. I loved that, but I also felt like I was stagnating in terms of my progression, so I wasn't really learning something new. I didn't have the same hunger. So I completely shifted my street style. I went from night to day, but day street photography, and especially shooting with a 28mm, it just gave me a complete different purpose. So what is the lesson here? So I would say the best camera isn't the one everybody else has or somebody tells you what to buy. It's the one that moves you forward. Sometimes that means choosing a simple, affordable camera that can teach you the craft without distraction. And other times a camera can really shake up your habits and open new creative doors and shift your mindset like the Fuji did for me. I would say just keep in mind that the right decision is not about specs. It's about what you need next in your journey. Anyway, that's how it was for me. Doing street photography for over a decade now, I would certainly say I had times where I really was not passionate or wanted to do street photography. And I wasn't as committed as I was back in 2016 and that period. Realistically, I would say it goes up and down like with anything you're passionate about. Sometimes you are more passionate and sometimes you're less passionate. I had a major break in the end of 22 and mostly the entire year of 2023. But essentially my motivation to do street photography, my love for street photography, the joy I got out of going out in dead of night doing street photography, it just completely went away. I had a very hard time understanding why this was happening. So every time I would look at a camera, I was just like, I don't want to pick it up at all. I tried even though to push myself to go out. And I also, one of the lessons was that if you don't feel like, don't go out, because I don't know if you're anything like me and you're pushing yourself to do something you don't want to do, you feel grumpy. At least I did. Anyway, so the point here is that luckily I found my way back, but in that period, after a while, I just let it be. I didn't pursue photography. I started to surround myself with different activities that was related to street photography. I would read photo books. I would watch videos on street photography, things I could find that would inspire me slowly and steadily. So the lesson here is that it's completely natural to step away from street photography and having those breaks over time. It's also really good because if you want to maintain a healthy connection to your creative outlet, it's also okay to step away at times and just come back when you recharge, you want to do street photography again. Your passion isn't gone just because you pause or sometimes you need space to return with fresh eyes and energy. It can only make you better. There has only been one focal length that has truly changed my perspective on my photography, the way I like to see the world around me. I think you know which focal length I'm talking about. I often say that I'm obsessed with this focal length. So yeah, I can admit that I'm obsessed with the 28mm. I own all the classic focal lengths, so I started out with 35, I quickly added the 50 and then 85. I also added the 40mm, and I also have a 24, and I have a 50mm. I think I said 50, but I meant 55. And I also have an additional 28. So I have a lot of lenses. I have a lot of different focal lengths, and I've used all of them. And as I said before, you know, with the story with the ecosystem, I added them carefully when I bought my Sony A7C because a lot of them are from mirrorless camera. And that meant that I used them extensively and really understood what kind of look I could get with a 35mm versus a 85 and so forth. I'm quite confident in using my different focal lengths for whatever street style I want. I recently rebranded to 28mm street. 28mm matches my personality so much. And never in a million years I thought I would say this, but 28mm was not my favorite focal length. Anything below 28, I think anything below 35 was just not for me. And it's so amazing how you can change your perspective based on practice, based on experimentation and so forth. But the lesson here is don't rush into picking your favorite focal length, whatever that might be. Experiment, learn about all the characteristics, pros and cons of a given focal length until you really and completely understand. The right focal length won't just fit your style, it will also help you shape it. I was quite lucky that I quite early on figured out that I really love night street photography, and my newfound likeness for night street photography also meant that I kept growing as a street photographer. The lesson here is that try to find that one single thing that you can focus on early, especially if you're new to street photography. It doesn't have to be your forever thing. It doesn't have to be something that is life-defining for you. I believe that it will just give you that excitement and the focus you need to continuously grow. Try to find something new every so often just to have something to focus on and just continuing your growth as a street photographer. One of the ways I keep growing and motivating myself even after so many years is that I keep challenging myself. I like to give myself challenges, and I made a few videos about, where I explain how I challenge myself. And there's a whole process to it, but just to condense it a little bit, I think I will only speak to some of the bigger challenges I've given myself because that makes sense in this video, because I also have some major lessons connected to that. And I think for a period of time that was completely fine for me because sometimes you have to lean into something new. And I remember thinking that it could be fun to be closer to my subjects, not 28mm focal length close, but a little bit closer. That's where the 55 or 50 came in. And that's one of the reasons why I ended up with the 28, because it was a challenge. I wanted to challenge myself. I bought a conversion lens for my Fuji, went out, I was like, whoa, this is fun. I pushed myself to step closer, and that was just a 28 for me, because the 28 requires you to be a lot closer, lean into your subjects or the moment you're trying to capture. The lesson here is that growth happens outside your comfort zone, and especially for me, I really like being out of my comfort zone now, and especially my street photography, because I often grow from it and often learn so much. If something is scaring you in photography, I encourage you just to try it just once. The discomfort usually means that you are about to level up, and if not, keep going. Looking back on nearly a decade of street photography, I would say I realized that some of my work that I'm most proud of wasn't planned at all. It came from being curious, staying adaptable, staying persistent, and saying yes to change. Sometimes I had to push myself so much subconsciously that it actually led to real change. And that's why I love street photography so much, because there's always so much to learn. There's so much to explore, new cities, new people, new ways to tell stories and to make it my own. And I know deep down this will keep me evolving and growing as a street photographer. And I don't know what the future holds for me in terms of my street photography. And that is exactly the point. All right, you guys, so if you're still here, I thank you. So after 10 years of street photography, I learned that growth never stops. Every year, every walk, every frame, it will teach you something new. Stay curious, stay persistent, and trust that the next shot can always surprise you and always lead you to more exciting new endeavors. The lesson here is just keep on going. No matter how long you've been shooting, growth and discovery will never stop. All right, take care. See you on the next one.